Hey everybody, it's Steve with SKY194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video, or my stream, I should say. Again, just like the title, just relaxing, taking it easy, trying to figure out the Mustang, what I'm going to do with this setup. Um, shouldn't say having issues, but just can't get the car to be where I want it to be. So, I'm waiting for the thing to stream to come on live here. I don't know why it's taking so long. There it goes. I don't know, something in OBS maybe or something. I got to look at it. I don't know why it always takes so long for the picture to show up on my stream. But yeah, just trying to relax here in AC with ACC. It's been a long work week. Also, I wanted to explain about Monday, also what happened, and I did record it, the Monday sprint race in E-Seniors here at Barcelona, but unfortunately I had a storage problem with my PC, and it ended up cutting off my recording, so that kind of messed that up, and it didn't even save the replay. So, matter of fact, the game crashed right after I got done with the race, so that kind of messed that whole thing up. And it was a shame because it was a really good race. Of course, I was in the Ferrari here at Barcelona, and so I don't even have the replay to go, to show anybody. So I couldn't even do any, couldn't even show highlights or anything. I finished third, and it was a good race. It was a good battle between me and John and Brian Murray. But John Saunders, they're both in the Mustangs, and I was in the Ferrari, and it was kind of neat because you couldn't even do anything with them on the straightaway. They just pulled away every time, but I would catch them up on the braking and some of the corners. I was really happy with the pace of the Ferrari, just really, really thrilled to death with it. Really strong through here, and trying to make a little bit of a dive bomb pass. I couldn't even review it because, again, I didn't have the replay, but ended up making some contact with John, and he kind of knocked him off the track. But we still finished the same. It was like a lap or two to go. So, again, nothing really. It was a really good race, though, because, I really, looked in a few places and really had good pace all the way through the whole race. But, like I said, I've been working some extra time this week, and just really haven't had that much time to put towards working on the Mustang for Barcelona for tomorrow. So, got a lot of work to do. I got a setup that's roughed in. I'm trying a lot of different things. I'm really trying. I'm still not happy with the car in the longer runs. Just like I lost at Indy right near the end. It was my race, and car just was understeering and just not doing what I wanted it to do. So, again, just not happy with the longer runs. Trying a lot of different things. I got a couple different setups that I got going that are roughed in, but, again, it's just, unfortunate that I can't get the car to really do what I want it to do. And again, all these cars are fit different driving styles, and to be honest, I don't think the Mustang, fits mine really that good. Let me see if I can turn down the volume a little. I think the volume in the car is a little bit too high. Mustang is pretty loud, so which is all right, but I hope everybody's having a good day today. It's been a okay day for me. Like I said, I worked extra, so I didn't get done with work until a little bit later. The way it is anymore, you got to work more to make the same, right? But yeah, kind of disappointed I haven't got the Mustang doing better than I have. So, whoa. Still cold tires. Unfortunately, it's might be a long morning tomorrow. I might have to really spend a lot of time in the morning trying to get it up to pace. Again, I like attacking setups from different angles. You know, different ideas, and then see what works the best, and then go from there. And then you can start tweaking on it and start trying to adjust it to make it a little better in certain areas. Of course, you know, let's look at the Mustang and what is good and bad. I mean, the bad thing is it's got a lot of understeer in it in the front and a lot of oversteer in the rear. That's the bad thing. I mean, it's just, it's like two separate cars. It's like you're fighting the front to turn, but yet the back end turns really easy. It's just depending upon how much gas you give it. And of course, if you get too aggressive with the throttle, it'll just snowplow the front and make it understeer even more. So it's got a lot of snap oversteer to it. So it's really it's not an easy car to get the most out of, to be, in my opinion. It's just not. And it's got great speed. I mean, that's definitely its strong point. It's got great speed and great brakes. I'm trying some different stuff with the TC, trying to get it to work with me, not against me. You got to be a lot more being you got to be a lot smoother on the throttle than you are in other cars. I mean, a lot of other cars you can be like a light switch. But with the Mustang, especially the slow corners, you can't be that way. You got to be a lot easier. So that's, you know, kind of tough. It's still slow. see him go faster this lap. That corner will snap around so fast. Actually, no, that it's the Bentley's a lot better than this as far as driving, as far as just easier to drive. I haven't raced with Antonio in a long time. I haven't seen him in a long time. Of course, the CP server is no more. I don't even see it up anymore, so I think that's all done. Like you got to drive with the rear of the car with this thing. I mean, that's okay, but I really need to be faster than that. And you can catch him in the public lobbies. He's still racing with the. Yeah, I'm never in the public lobbies, so. I haven't seen him. I saw him in an LFM race. So this was a while ago. This was, I don't know. I haven't even been in LFM in a while. I need to like to race over there. Just no time. Just haven't had the time. And you go in there, you know, half cocked, and you'll just get blown away. I mean, you got to, you need to be, practice and have a decent setup and just be ready to go, be prepared. If you just, jump in there, you're going to get pretty much slaughtered. Hey, John. You're doing a lot better than me with your performance of Monday. And if you're any better than that, you're really going to, you'll be in another planet compared to me. But anyway, I'm trying a lot of different things. I'm just not happy with the car. And tire wear is not too bad. It's not so bad. It's just trying to get the back end to calm down, get the front end to turn. it's always, the same kind of problems. It's like I said. It's like you got to drive this car. It's like rear wheel steering. You got to drive the car with the rear end because the front end won't turn. So. and later in the setup, it's going to be even worse. And so you can see, like, on the TC here, I got a like 2. I probably could start it off at 3 maybe, and maybe it'd be a little bit better. I really turned it down to try to get the car to be more aggressive. But I also set it up that way as far as, very little ride height and things like that to try to make it that way. So add some diff and see if that helps. Oh yeah, Miguel was really fast. Yeah, I'd love to be racing with Miguel. He was always good. Same thing with Antonio. There were some really good ones. I mean, I missed racing with Tom. Oh, a couple guys from the CP server that I really enjoyed racing with. Yeah, Black Eye was a really good with, like I said, Tom Black Eye. Black Eye Racing. But he don't ever race. I don't ever see him anymore. I said just I know. Do you, John? I mean, to be honest, I'm really not. I love the looks of the car. The looks of the car is very aggressive. I love the looks of the car. The sound is good. I don't mind it. I'm not like in love with it, but I think it's good. But I'd rather be racing something with something else. It's just this car is. It's just that it's worse than the Porsche. I mean, as far as you got to just. It works your butt off. I mean, I give you guys credit Monday because by the end of the race, I mean, just get wore out with this thing. It wears you out. I mean, yeah, you could neuter the car, but then you're slow. So I mean, to get the car to perform, you got to just drive it like just manhandle the thing, and it's trying to fight you the whole time. I mean, it's fighting and bucking and kicking and everything else. It's just like, good night, man. And it's just against my nature. I mean, I'm always with cars that are good with straight, good with handling. I mean, I'm always, that's what I'm always looking at. I'm looking at cars that I'm always trying to optimize the handling and the braking and things like that. I mean, straight line is straight line. You're only going to, it's not, it's a derivative. It's a derivative of whatever the setup is. But I mean, in the car's specs, you're really not going to make that big a difference in the straight line. But this thing, it's a wrestling match the whole time, trying to get this thing to go around corners. Especially if you got a lot of corners. If you don't have that many corners, it's better. But with this thing, it's got so many corners, especially slow corners, is the worst. Because the slow corners, you got to use first gear so much, especially with the crazy gearing in this thing, and it just wants to just rotate on you all the time. kind of like this setup a little bit better. It's a little bit more manageable than the real aggressive type. It sucks around this last sector. I mean, this thing just absolutely sucks. I mean, all these tight turns. I could see why in the Ferrari I'd absolutely just gobbling you up in this last sector, John, because this thing sucks. Whoops. Yeah, right? It is. It makes the AMG look like a tame little mouse. I mean, hell, the AMG, I'd rather be driving the AMG right now, to be honest. Or the Aston Martin. This is a car that's for somebody that loves straight line speed, but is not big on the braking and handling department, especially handling. But they love the straight line speed. But it's got straight line speed in spades. I don't care how good I came out of that chicane. I could not get even drafting. I could not get around John. I could not do it, no matter what. He would pull me car links, and I mean, I'd come right out of here and be literally on his bumper. Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. I mean, straight line speed, this is going to do that anyway, no matter what you do. I mean, it's not going to really, no matter what you do, it's going to be, that's what it is. I mean, just to practice with this thing, and it's like jumping on a wild boar or something. Oh, I thought we were going to get an update after Spa, but we haven't got an update yet. I was hoping we'd get one real soon. See if I can get a better lap. They just understeers. just burns on that left front. Yeah, right. Turn the TC down. Let's get the car to rotate. Jeez. Yeah, well, I got on 3 better. At the same time. He just understeers. It won't turn. Good night, this thing. Yeah, it's good on the bumps. It's not bad. I mean, but I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a negative. It's definitely good on bumps. But you know, so's the AMG, so's the BMW, so's the Aston Martin. Yeah, me too. Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with the going over bumps. I don't have an issue with that. It's just the DNA of the car. DNA of the car is just, I mean, can't get it to turn. So I'll try a little bit more negative camber. I try to get the rear end to calm down, but I think it's hurting it on the long turns. It's not able to turn, so I'm gonna go back the other way. Again, it's like you're fighting the front end to turn, but you're fighting the rear end not to turn because the rear end is on the slow turns. The car wants to just jump and go crazy. Yeah, if you stiffen up the front and soften the rear, the problem is it's going to understeer even worse because, and I tried that. I actually got springs in the rear trying to push on the front to get it to rotate. I have tried it the other way. Again, that's the whole problem with this thing is getting the car to turn. I'm going to go back on the diff again. I think that was hurting it too, going back on the diff. So I'm going to go down on the diff. The problem with that, though, is it wants to spin the one wheel. Try this and see if that helps. Yeah, I mean, I could try a higher bump stop. I got a higher bump stop right on the rear. Again, trying to help it rotate. Again, it helps it rotate mid-corner where this car really sucks mid-corner. And I could try to limit that. Like, I could go the other way like this and go. I've tried this too before. So I'm switching it around. I've tried this to try to limit it so it doesn't oversteer mid-corner. I've tried that. Now, if the bump stop range is down, it makes the car react faster. It makes the car react really quick, and it helps heavier cars. Like the Ferrari, you don't need that. The Ferrari doesn't need that because it reacts quick anyway, so you really don't need it. But this car doesn't react quick. It's heavy. It's slow reacting. Of course, you know, it limits the body roll is what you're doing. You're limiting the body roll from it moving around. Like the Porsche, you leave it. Usually they're tighter because you're trying to keep the aero balance. You don't want the car to pitch on any one corner too much. So you have the bump stop range on the tight side. But this thing just is inherently understeers. It's just a part of it. It just does it. See what this does. And of course, another thing is what might help it might hurt it later on, and that's another problem. I mean, that's where you get later on in a stint, and then the car is just it just pushes like a pig. I mean, it literally just will not turn. But the back end is oversteer. You snap oversteer. But when you get into the beginning, you know, when you first go into a corner, the car, you're turning and the car just goes straight. Because it just, the front tires, it just burns off the front tires. So again, it's a real hard car to get balanced, you know, to get balanced and to get it to feel right, especially later on. I mean, you know, when the tires are fresh, you know, you can do decent. It's okay. But when you're tired, you've been running 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It just doesn't like you anymore. And then the car just starts, you know, just watch my race from Indy. I mean, you know, I had two McLarens gobbling me up. It was my race, but, you know, I didn't have a big lead. I was just only out about a second and a half or so, but it was my race. But at the end, the car's just understeering. And I go off the track and give it away, you know. Oh. It's understeering more now than it was. Yeah, tire left front is just yellow. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's a little better. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just tire wise, it's not too. I mean, it doesn't look too bad tire wise. I mean, it's the left sides are definitely going to wear more just because it's always on the wearing on the left side. Um, and I just got to figure out a way to, to do better time and everything. The best time in the Mustang so far is a 44.3, which is not terrible, but I can't do it because I'm not consistent enough with it. Plus, I need to be fat. Really, I need to be a little faster than that. So it's just, um, if I could run consistently like that a lot, then that wouldn't be too bad. But with everybody else running faster than that, it makes it tough. So let's try it again, see what we can do. Put this down to 50. I don't want to go to 40. I that's another, I think, problem I don't like. I was running it all the way down, which is you're gonna have to, but I don't like setting it up to do that in the beginning because it gives you no adjustment because you're maxed out. So if the car starts pushing later on, you have no way to get the car to adjust it a little bit later to help you rotate the car, let's say halfway through the stint. So I don't want to run that right off the get-go. I'd rather run it like 50 or something like that, and then as the run goes, then you can do that. At least that's the idea. Take a look at the last lap. You're always trying to catch the rear end of the car. Yeah, car needs another. I agree with John. We talked about it once. I think it was last week or something. Car needs about another click or two of wing, as far as the adjustment. I mean, I got it maxed out, but it needs. I wish it had a couple more clicks. Then you could make the thing handle. You could make it go then. Because if you had that, then you could be more aggressive in the corners and things like that, because you'd have the back end would have more grip. I think the magic is in this TC. That's where you can get the car to. I'm not saying fix it totally, but I think it would help a lot. And I'm thinking I've already changed a lot, because usually I was running just a 4, 5, or 6 on the TC1 and 0 on TC2. Well, I'm not doing that. That's why I'm trying it now on 3. I got 3 and 1, and I'm going to try it on 2 and 1. It's like a controlled crash. Turn! I hate this turn. This car just sucks at that turn. That's another thing I don't like about this car. This thing is so, it's, you know, it's my fault, but it's, I guess that's why it doesn't fit my driving. It's just not, I can't get it to be consistent. I guess you could if you neutered it, like I said. I mean, if you turned this thing way down. Dang. See, I mean, you run one lap and then you're off a half a second the next lap. Do one more lap, I'm gonna max out the brake bias. Dang it. A little wide. Jeez. Hey, I mean, look how wide it runs through here. You can just feel the front sliding. That's why it's pushing you. That's why the left front's yellow. It's just starting to slow down. That's just after a few laps. Oh, goodness, this thing. Oh, shoot, I thought I ran faster than that. I thought I ran a 20-something. Oh, just a 38. Times all over the place. No, not. I haven't tried it on Spa yet. It'd be, well, it should do better at Spa than here, other than the last corner, the last chicane. Other than that, it'll probably be really good at Spa because it's flowing. A track that flows and is, you know, a faster type track. This car will definitely excel. This, you know, even if it's a slower track, but as long as you're not having a lot of chicanes or those, you know, the really slow areas, this is where this car struggles. I mean, you know, it all depends on what you like in a car. I mean, I mean, like I said earlier, the Mustang is not my type of car. I love the looks of the car. The sound is okay. It's just, it's so much work to get it to handle. And that's the thing. I mean, it's so much work. It wears you out, you know, especially if you're in a long race. It just wants to wear you out. It just wears your arms out, your hands out. I mean, you're constantly sawing the wheel, constantly trying to catch the rear end, trying to get the front end to turn. It's just, you know, the AMG to me is way more balanced car than this car is by a long way. You know, the way easier car to drive than this car, but you can't even, to me, it's not even comparable. I mean, really, as far as any car. I mean, this is bad. This is worse than the Porsche. I mean, as far as just wearing you out, this thing just wears you out. At least the Porsche, it handles. This thing doesn't handle at all. It's trying to get a brick or a wagon to get around the corners. I mean, compared to everything else. So, and I like the Mustang. I'm a Mustang fan. I've owned a lot of Mustangs in real life. It's not that like I said, it's not that I don't like the car. I like the car, but the DNA of the car, the way it is. I mean, it's a monster down the straightaways, you know, but it's just, whew. You know, and that's why I'm trying to learn more, learn about it handling and about what it likes, what it doesn't like, trying to figure some more stuff out, trying some different things. I'm really, you know, this setup here is completely different than any other setup I've had at Indy or Coda. And it's not that the car didn't run good. I was running up front there, but it's just really a struggle. And, you know, kind of, you know, and like I said, at Indy, I gave it away. I should have won that race, and I gave it away. I mean, it was my fault. But, you know, it's the car is just wearing you out and doesn't want to do what you want it to do. I'm going to try, I'm going to try less anti-roll bar, front and rear. Try to let the car move maybe a little bit more. Yeah, see, and that's what happens is it starts pushing the front, and then it'll start graining the fronts because it's just understeering and pushing. You see the wear. I mean, it's even front to rear is even on this side. This side is a little different, but it's not that bad. But I was running this at like 5 or 6 most of the time, and 0 TC2. But I'm trying to do something a little different, trying to see if I can get it to work a little bit better. Let me check. You guys can't see it, but let me check Motec really quick, see if there's anything I can adjust, anything on there that's way out. I don't think it is. I think it's close. Yeah, turn it down a little bit. That's not real bad. Again, it's a very small adjustments. Oh, we'll save this and watch the fast lap, which was 13. Yeah, do you, John? Yeah, that's what I can't, and that pisses me off because I feel like it's me that, I'm driving. But man, this thing is just so hard to be consistent. Maybe loosen it up a little bit. Maybe it's a little bit too stiff with the bars. Almost maybe start looking at that area and see if I can get it to be more predictable. See all these slow corners like this where you're down in first gear and you really have no momentum. It's just hard for this car to get grip. I mean, it just does not want to grip. Always runs wide there, which John was doing this. John, you're doing the same. I mean, same thing. That's. Well, I was wondering why. I see why now, because I mean, you're running wide there every single lap, and I know why. Let's see what the speed is down here. 169. See, that's fast. That is very fast. So, I mean, speed is definitely its forte down the straightaway. Let me look at the comments here, see what everybody's saying. I upped the diff. I upped the diff on the preload. That's what was causing that actually was making it understeer worse through the middle of the corner, because that's what'll happen. I mean, if you got too much diff and you get the diff starts locking up, and then what happens is it starts pushing the front like that long right hand corner, and that's the real bad one where it does it the worst there, where I forget, it's like turn 3, and you got that long right hand corner. Well, the diff starts locking up too early. It just wants to push the car, and then what happens is the left front will start getting hot fast, because basically you're just plowing. Hello, Paulo. Of course, I got the negative camber near maxed out, basically maxed out. And I can make it more consistent. Don't get me wrong, but then it's slow. So again, I mean, you could neuter the car. I could turn TC up and do all this other stuff, and I could drive around here and go, oh man, it's solid. It's fine. But when you really have to push the car, because you really got to get maximum performance, it's not gonna. That's when it starts not liking it. And of course, like I said, the consistency issue too. I mean, one time you're running a decent time, and then the very next lap, you're half a second off. I mean, it's like crap. I mean, I don't like giving up that much time, because if you got a guy nailing his lap times, he's gonna be, he's gonna be right there. And again, that's not nothing against you, Harry. I mean, that's why each car, and I've said this forever, is each car is unique to a certain driving style. It benefits that driving style. Yeah, I mean, I can change my driving style to go with a car to a certain degree, but I'm still going to be better if a car fits me more naturally. Okay, so. And again, that's with anybody. So if somebody doesn't maybe practice as much, or doesn't have as much drive time in ACC, if they get to a car and it fits more of their driving style, they're gonna blend with it and just go with it a lot easier and pick up time a lot easier than a car that's bucking and fighting, and they're trying to get it to do something, and it just doesn't want to do it, and it just doesn't fit. Like you are with the Porsche. The Porsche is a car, and in general terms, the Porsche is a car that you literally have to drive it on the edge in every corner. You literally have to be on the ragged edge in every corner to get a lap time out of it, because it's not going to get it on the straightaway. Any straightaway, you're down 4 or 5 miles. To the Mustang, I'd probably be down 5 miles an hour. So to get any lap time, you have to literally be driving it on the ragged edge, where the Mustang is the exact opposite. It flies down the straightaway, but then in the corners, you really are just have to drive it to what it can do. You can't drive it on the ragged edge, because it just won't go. It just won't do it. You end up running off the track or crashing or whatever, because it's just not going to go. It's just not going to go around the corner that good. Oh, I understand. Like I said, I understand. There's a lot of people that don't. They hate the Porsche. I mean, and I totally understand that. So, but I mean, you take another front engine car. You compare this Mustang to the AMG, or compare this car to the Aston Martin or the BMW. I mean, you can't. Let's say the BMW, which is a newer car, is completely different than this car. I mean, both front engine. The BMW has a ton of torque, so it'll accelerate really good, but it is balanced. The car feels so much more balanced than this car. It changes directions. It just going through the corners. Where this car, it just feels like it's just plows. It won't turn. It's just a totally different animal compared to like a same type of car, whether it's like the BMW, AMG, Aston Martin. you know, another type of front engine type car. And that's why I was trying to, you know, also trying to, you know, I almost think you got to, that's what, got to drive it with the rear end. You have to almost like it's rear wheel steering, like I said earlier, where you have to drive the car on the rear end, not on the nose, you know, where you got to get the car to maybe be more loose in the back end, at least at the beginning and through the middle of the corner, to get to rotate and try to control that maybe with the TC or something like that. I mean, that's why I had the sway bar maxed out, trying to get the car to rotate easier and just try to control it with the TC. But the problem with that is, again, I think maybe that's, you could be, you know, inconsistent that way also. So let's go look. I probably won't be as good because I'm in the Mustang mode. But let's look at the difference between that and a car that goes around the corners. So two totally different type of driving styles. And I will leave a link to this setup in the description because I wasn't able to do it for the sprint race again that I had Monday in eSeniors, because again I got some of the, I cleared some of the data, but I guarantee I'm going to have to get a just a bigger hard drive, and I want to get the fastest one I can get. I got a 2 terabyte hard drive, but I need to get like a 4 terabyte. And I ran out of room and it cut off my recording. So that's why I didn't put it out there. I got rid of some stuff and kind of cleaned house in my PC storage, but I still need to get a bigger hard drive so it can be able to do that. But let's load this, and I'm not going to change anything, just the way it was. I'll just put on the first tire, but again, I'll make this a setup. I'll put a link to this setup in the description. I was going to do that for that race and that recording. And I'm really sorry that that recording didn't go through, because, I mean, it was a great race. I mean, between Brian, John, and me, I mean, we were fighting the whole 30 minutes. I mean, literally just about all the way until unfortunately, I did kind of a dive bomb, and it's the only thing I could do to get around the Mustang. And look at this thing. Look at it. I mean, it's turning cold tires, and I'm barely even putting any input into the wheel. You can see my wheel down there. Put hardly any input into the wheel, and it's just turning. I mean, you just think about turning and it's going. And it doesn't wear you out doing it. I mean, it's not like it's bucking and kicking and fighting. Especially through here. This is where I was making a lot of time up on John in the Mustang. Right through here, I mean, he was struggling. I mean, I'm struggling. I mean, in the Mustang. But through here, through all this whole section, I mean, I was just running so much better through here. I'm just going to do a few laps tires might be off a little bit because temperatures were different. But I was just going to do a few laps. Alright. Used to the Mustang. Trying to be gentle and upsetting the car. Gotta be more aggressive. Especially these low speed turns, it just goes. You could get aggressive with the throttle. Not a great time, but that's me. So I'm sure it'll pick up. Better. Do one more. The tires were a little on the hot side, but That's not bad. Not bad for tires being overpressured and stuff. Probably could get a high 43 to real low 44. But that's exactly, that's where I need to be, is like low 44s. I need to be about another, what, 2/10, 3/10. The thing is, I can do this and or roundabout all the time. I mean, I can't, even after 30 minutes, I'm still running probably mid 44s or 44 5s or 6s instead of 45s. I mean, his speed difference, though, this is the difference. I mean, in the Mustang, where I mean, John just pulled away from me. They 167, so he's doing 2 miles an hour faster than I am. But even in the draft, I couldn't do nothing, even if I was on his bumper. Real happy with my livery that Nikos did with it. I think it looks really good. Like the Italian colors on the back. I enjoy driving that. It was really good. I'm gonna show the setup for all of my console friends out there. Let's see here. Let's go to this. Make it a setup anyway. I'll go ahead and just show each section here for a few seconds. Y'all can pause it on each one so you can copy everything down. Of course, that's just simple. You see the wear on this is really good too. I mean, the wear is really good with the Ferrari. No issues at all as far as the wear on, the wear front to rear or anything. And there you go. So again, that's the setup, and I'll leave a link to this setup in the description. It's a really good setup. I'm really happy with it. You can tweak it to what you like, but it's definitely there. And of course, you see my fast lap is a 43.6 in the Ferrari here, which I think in the race or in qualifying, I think I ran pretty close to that. I was in the, I think I ran a high 43. Yeah, I was hoping, as you see, I got a 44.31 as my fast here at Barcelona, which we ran a 38, just that last time we were just there. So again, it's close to my fast lap, but I mean, I need to pick up at least 2 to 3 tenths. You know, I mean, and the scary thing is that's just the beginning, because even if you pick up that, you still need to try to find it to where the car will run, not be undrivable or lose, you know, basically fall off a cliff when the tires start wearing. I bet you did. You were running good. You were pushing hard. I mean, I could see you were starting to lose a little bit of time to Brian up front in his Mustang. But of course, you were also trying to you know, you're kind of defending on me too. So that was probably making you lose a little time too. So, but I mean, all three of us were pretty close. So, I mean, I didn't look at the replay, so I don't know how bad of a dive bomb it was when we hit, but I mean, I was trying to find some way to get, I mean, there's a lot of places I was quicker, but you know, you can't get around. And if there was any kind of straightaway at all, you would just pull away. So, yeah, it'll give you if you don't have arm pump, you'll get it at Barcelona. You know, and again, I put all my setups out, and they're on my Discord. Of course, they're all free. Um, which, um, you know, and again, I'm not saying that you basically put them in and they're gonna fit to you to a T, but I mean, pretty much if you've got a Go setup or a Coach Dave or whatever, most of the time you got to tweak it a little bit to make it fit what you want anyway. So it's really, it's not that much different. But you know, it gives you a good baseline, and if you know if the car can run those kind of times, especially me, I'm not an alien. So if it can run those kind of times, you know, it's very doable that you can run those kind of times. So, and I try to have it to where it's drivable too. I mean, I try to have the car where it's not completely fighting you, and that's where the Mustang is just really has beat me down. I mean, it just wants to fight you no matter what you do. The only way you cannot do that is if you set the TC up high, and I don't want to do that because then it just slows you down. Gotta put my back on the Mustang. I mean, again, it's a great looking car. It's a great looking car. From every angle, the car looks good. Front, side, rear. I mean, it really, and the more I've, you know, it's kind of even grown on me more as far as the looks. I really love the looks of it. The sound is good. It's just a bear. Get it to do what I want it to do. That's the whole issue. I could, you know, I went down. I mean, I'm getting. Well, let's try this way. Leave it the way it is. I'm turned to. We turned the bars down a couple clicks, trying to maybe loosen the car up a little bit. So we'll see if that works at all. Plus made a few adjustments on the shocks. So yeah, that's another thing. The gearing is still, I'm not gonna say it's a total bummer, but it's just it takes time getting used to, and really it's like you're driving with a 5-speed. It really, 6 gear is useless. I mean, you're only gonna barely use it at the absolutely fastest tracks. So basically, you're running with a 5-speed. So, I mean, that can be good and bad at times. So it's just one of those things. I know on E-Seniors, on the Mike's podcast, or Mike's little broadcast the other day, he was wondering if the Mustang was, he thought it had a supercharger. There's none of these cars have superchargers, but, I mean, this car's naturally aspirated, in the GT3 version, it is naturally aspirated, so there's no forced induction at all. It goes over, like you say, it goes over. I don't have an issue with it going over any kind of curb or bump. That's a non-issue. Whoa. Hope join me for the race. That'll be tomorrow. I will be live streaming it. Usually I start by about 1:30, 1:45. I start and it's practice, and then we have qualifying, and then the race. So be here at Barcelona. Got a big field, so usually by about 30-something cars, 3 classes. It likes to run wide here. What I see happening with the Mustang a lot is somebody being behind you and is faster, but they cannot get around you. And then they wreck you because they cannot get around you, and they're so much slower in the handling part. And every straightaway, you just drive away. Jeez. Crossed up like crazy. To me, it almost sounds like a NASCAR engine. That's what it sounds like to me, to be honest, which ain't bad. Like I said, I don't think it sounds terrible, but I think they could improve it. Dang it. I never can be smooth out of there. Like a controlled crash. Good. Yeah, you get a Ferrari or McLaren or something like that behind you that handles really good, and you're dogging it going through these corners, that's what I see happening. He's gonna end up and he's gonna be trying to get around and he can't. It's gonna be an accident. End up taking all kinds of these Mustangs out. Good night. Lost time through there. Yeah, I'm a half a second off where I was running in the Ferrari. It just won't turn. It just won't turn. see the left front, it's just cooking it. All right, well, I mean, you can take another thing out of the diff, put the anti-roll bar back up, max it out. I got at 520. That's what that's supposed to be for the Mustang. Of course, I got this as all the way down. So, I mean, basically, my wheel, my virtual wheel, and my real wheel are lined up. So it's, you know, what you see on the wheel, the virtual wheel, is what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't. Scratching my head. And see, it's already starting to grain the tires. Well, that's what John said. John said in the race he had, what did he say? He had moderate graining and blister. He had graining and blistering. Yeah, I believe it. You can't get to. That's what happens because the car you're just scrubbing the tires. You can't. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me in the least. I already got my caster because that's usually most of the time. You know, it just, you know, everybody does that. I'll max it out. So there you go, maxed out. Oh, one of the things with ACC. A little bit more positive toe. That'll help it turn, but again, see, the problem is you get it won't turn on the long turns or the sweeping turns, and then what happens is on the bus stop turns, the first gear turns, it wants to oversteer. So you got it doing one thing on the one way and doing it the other thing on the other way. So it's just, man. I'm gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna up the springs in the back one more click. Let's do that. That'll help it turn. Like I say, it'll probably overturn. It'll probably oversteer now, but let's just try it. I'm struggling here. Every time I up the spring in the rear on the Mustang, I go faster. Every single time. So we'll see if it does it here. When I did it at Coda or here or at Indy, I went faster. But then the problem with that is it feels like then later in the stint, you end up being really bad. But right now, I got to get my pace up some way. I got to do something. It feels like it because I feel like it feels like it's got more force feedback. It feels like it's hard, you know, it feels like it's got more grip. So let's try it. I've never done that where the Mustang has gone two clicks above the front. So, but hey, I'll try anything right now. And again, you know, that's works in real life, and it works here as far as, you know, the stiffer. If the stiffer you have the rear spring over the front, it's going to make the car turn. That's any car, whether it's front engine, mid engine, rear, whatever. It don't make a difference. I'm not talking about the clicks. I'm talking about numerical, what the number is on it. If it's the number is the higher it is over the what the front spring is, it's going to make the car turn. So you can use that across the board. But then you get to a certain point where it's going to happen is you get too much, and the rear end will just slide. It'll just slide. It won't even. It'll start. It just won't work. So again, you got to balance that out. Not turning too bad. That corner's got my number. See if it picks up. Not too far off. Still not rotating enough. And just like that, you can see it just understeering right there. I'm playing with the TC, trying to see if I can get it to work better. Nah, a little too deep. Yeah, running wide again. One more. I turn my brake bias all the way down and turn my TC down just to 2. See if that helps. Dang it. Nah, I got too aggressive with the throttle. It's a thing, I tell you. Yeah, Mustang is... Oh, man. Thing is... Let's see if I can loosen up the front. Just do this and see if it helps it work a little better. Loosen it up a little bit. Maybe not make it so snappy and so unpredictable. Yeah, well, at least you're running decent, John. I'm in nowhere land. If anything, sometimes I think I'm going backwards. Yeah, light graining on the front. That's not surprising. I'd rather have the car oversteery in the front, in the beginning, in the beginning of a stint. I'd rather have the car oversteery and then as it wears tires, it would start to understeer more, and it would I would rather have it that way because I can control the oversteer with TC. But when you have understeer, it's really hard to get it out of. It's really difficult. So I say it's definitely going to be a long morning tomorrow. Of course, the car comes up. You know, as the fuel burns off, it's really balanced, not bad. It only comes up like one click. So you come off, it comes up like one click. And I'm sure it'd probably be 2 clicks if you had a full tank. So let's try it with a full tank. So you got full tank of fuel. It comes up 3. It comes up 1 in the front and 3 in the rear. That's not too bad. Let's see. Yeah, so it actually loses its front aero variation, goes down 0.3. So just that 1 click on the front makes a huge difference, even though it's coming up in the rear. Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Maybe so. I can't believe this car is this. I mean, although, you know, it you know, who knows? I mean, the only people that know is the guy, you know, the factory drivers that drive it. But, you know, when I watched it at Paul Ricard, it did look that way. I mean, I know that was very early, and maybe I'm sure they made improvements since then, but the car looked just like this as far as it looked like a handful. And then on that long straightaway at Paul Ricard, that's where it was just eating up everybody. It was just gobbling everybody up, passing car here. I mean, they just passed at will. But then everywhere else, they were fighting the car and struggling with the car, and you know, but they finished good there. But I mean, it kind of reminds me that way. That's why I wish they would do an update. Maybe they would do an update on a lot of things. So I thought they were going to come out with an update after the Spa race, but I was kind of hoping they were going to do that like really soon, but not soon enough. Yeah, I've tried that before too. I mean, I've tried that with the max rear ride height. Yeah, I've tried that. I've tried that both ways. It still wants to understeer. If you did like with you, like if you deal with the anti-roll bar all the way across, I mean, it's probably good for qualifying. It's probably really good for that. But then when you go in a longer run, it seemed like I couldn't get it to, again, I couldn't get to do what I want. Oh, I mean, that's a lot of ride height. I mean, you go all the way up like that. That's a lot of ride height over that. Oh. There we go. We'll do that and see what it does. Just for kicks and giggles. Yeah, I got to turn. I can't. I don't like this as much. It's turning the wheel as it is. I don't like turning the wheel a lot. I don't really like that. I mean, you see how the wheel's turning? That is exactly what my wheel's doing. But I like to turn the wheel and the car does something. I don't like turning the wheel and I have to wait. I just, you know, I turn, I want it to turn. Well, let's try this. Maybe this will work. At least maybe it'd be good for qualifying, maybe. Should have a ton of turn in, that's for sure. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I think that's the car in general. I mean, that's the problem. Is it's like the front and rear are two different cars. The front doesn't want to turn, and the rear wants to turn real easily. Should be really good for this because the ride height really helps you change directions. So it should help right there really good. It's got all that ride height and it's still cooking the left front. And then it goes into a power. It goes into a slide. You see it? The back end just started sliding. Let's try another lap. I mean, hell, I only got the TC at 3. TC2 is 0. Sounds like it just wants to light up the rear tires. Yeah, it's just cooking it. Look at the left front. That thing's absolutely just cooking it. Yeah, see, it doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. I don't know how you get it to work, John. It just doesn't work for me. If it's a Mustang, it's a Clydesdale. If it's a horse, it's a big horse. That's what kills me. Is this exactly what you said? Is it'll understeer and oversteer at the same time. I mean, it'll understeer going into the corner and through the middle of the corner, and then as soon as you when you're trying to feed the gas in from the middle of the corner off, it wants to oversteer. I mean, it's the worst of both ways. I mean, it's terrible to understeer going in, and it's terrible to oversteer coming off. I mean, that's why it's such a chore to drive. Let me check some of them. Yeah. I even have my brake ducts at 5. And it's still just, the left side tires just cook. I would hate to see this at Zandvoort. This car at Zandvoort would literally absolutely destroy the left front tire. See if we can do any better. Yeah, I know this first lap's a throwaway. Yeah, just went out of bounds a teeny bit. Yeah, there's just certain cars you just don't click with, and I just don't. Not that I like the car. It's just, but I just don't click with it. Definitely the wrong car to pick for my league. That is for sure. I'm just going slower. That's hopeless. Look at the tires. Oh, that's not helping. I even turned the sway bar down in the front. So I opened these up, and I think it's making it worse. I made the bump stop range. I opened it up, and it's just getting worse. I know, right? I don't know how. Well, you didn't in the 30-minute race, John. You were fine. You went the whole time. Oh, I salute you because you went 30 minutes on one set of tires, and you know you held it in there. I mean, you were hanging on. I don't know how you did it. I guarantee. I know the last 5 to 10 minutes probably must have been just absolutely just wearing you out, and I was all over you. I was looking and crawling, and I mean I couldn't do any more without, you know, we did wreck actually, but I mean I was trying everything I could try to get around you because I really thought I was faster everywhere but the straightaways. The only other thing I can do, lower this down, way down, and put this back up. That'll get it to turn. I can't keep it on the track. I mean, mine just... I agree with you, John. I might drive it like once in a blue moon just to drive one, you know, just to go out. I like driving all the cars, but yeah, I will never pick this car for a league ever again. Ever again. I so regret picking this car. And I mean, I have put in the time. I mean, the first two races, and just like this one, I have put in hours and hours and hours on just one car, trying to get this thing to be halfway decent. And I mean, I'm come to a point where I don't know if I could put this much time. I thought that after so many races, it would be getting easier and easier because you're getting to know the car, but I'm just not. It's not coming along as good as I was hoping it would. I mean, I might even throw my Indy setup on this and see if how that goes. I don't even know. As it's just, this thing is just absolutely nowhere. And I'm not a Mustang hater, so don't take this the wrong way. I really, it ticks me off because I wish I could drive this car better, and I like the car, but I'm a handling type of person. I like a car that can handle. It doesn't have to be the absolute best handling car. It has to be good. And this is the other end. This is the worst. I mean, the Boatley handles better than this. I mean, the only car that I can compare it to, and it's got more stability, but it doesn't handle that good, would be like the M6. I mean, that car's big wheelbase, but it's very stable. It's just not fast. This thing it doesn't handle. It's unstable. It's everything. The only thing it does good is brake and go fast straight. That's it. That's it. Other than that, it's pretty much nowhere. And the thing is if you have any track like this one, Zandvoort, any track that's hard on the front, like on normal cars is a little bit on the hard side on the front tires, you might as well forget about it with the Mustang. This thing is going to absolutely destroy that left front tire. Like here, where you have all these fast right-hand turns, and they're long right-hand turns and this and that, and the same thing at Zandvoort, where it's all right-hand, same kind of thing. You are going to literally roast that left front tire. I don't know how you can get around it. All right, I'm gonna reset this. It's too hot now. It's getting, and it's cooler in the server. I don't like getting too far out because it's the tires are roasted on this thing anyway. Might try that in the morning. Try my Indy setup on here in the morning. See if it's any better. I don't know. I'm grabbing for straws here. So hold on a second. sorry about that. Had a wife texted me. I had to make sure I replied to her. Well, let's try this. Last hope for today. The only thing that I want to do, that this Mustang really makes me do, is it makes me want to drive something else. I hate saying that. I so hate saying that, but it really does. It makes me want to drive something else. Now, I wouldn't say that if it was probably a flowing track, like, you know, when we were racing at Mount Panorama and stuff like that. It's not so bad. You know, at a flowing track, it's not so bad. But when you get to a track that's got tight chicanes and tight stuff and all, it just sucks. And a track that's like all mostly one direction, so it's really hard on tires. Plus, this would not be a good car in real hot weather. Oh, it really sucked then. 'Cause this thing overheats the tires as it is. So if you're in a really hot day, you are gonna struggle. You're gonna cook these things. I think we're gonna be gobbled up by the McLarens tomorrow. Or Ferraris, whatever. And you got Brad in the McLaren, and you got Chris Bourne in the McLaren. Well, I don't think Brad's racing. I think he's had to go do something, so maybe Brad's not gonna. That's the only way we're not gonna get beat. Brad not being there. This thing. Good for a horsepower track, but not good for a handling track. Probably good for like Red Bull Ring, because again, you got one tight turn, but it's pretty flowing, so you probably all right there. But again, you got so many tracks. This thing's gonna 46. What? Yeah, it does feel like it turns a little bit better. That's better. But still. Good night. Gummit. I mean, look at the left front. That's just. I don't understand this thing. This thing is just cooking the front. It's not that hot. I'm getting slower. Ever since I did that with the rear, it's gotten worse. So I guess that's what I'm gonna work on tomorrow. I'm gonna put my bump stop ranges back. Because ever since I've increased it, I went up on the front and went up on the bump, you know, doubled it. It was 10, I was now 20 and all this. Ever since I've done all that, now it's just cooking that left front. It's not. What happens is, I think it's squatting over on the left rear tire. It's going down there on that long turn, especially that long sweeper, that long right-hand turn, and it's just pushing the left front, and it's just cooking it. Now, definitely got to work on this some more. Hey, Nikos. The man that did delivery, which I was talking about earlier. That I love delivery, but not like the car. Oh, of course, I was talking about delivery on the Ferrari, too, because I showed the Ferrari earlier. That was a lot nicer. I like the Ferrari a lot better. Yeah, I was showing the, yeah, right? Well, I showed the, we did a lap in it, and I was showing the, you could see the back end of the car and stuff, and I was telling them about that's one of my favorite things is you had the Italian colors on the back. I thought that looks really awesome with that. So, yeah, I did that earlier. Showed a fast lap. I was just showing the difference in the Ferrari compared to here at Barcelona. It's absolutely night and day. But this car is absolutely just wore me out. I mean, this thing is. I've been driving now. I've reset this 2 or 3 times. I've been doing this for what, 2 or 3 hours? I don't know. And I've gotten nowhere. Really, I've gotten. I know what not to do, but I have not found the recipe. This thing just does not fit me. I love the car. I really do like the Mustang. It's just really disappointing it doesn't handle better than this. And unfortunately, it's like the DNA, that the characteristics of the car are the characteristics of the car. It is what it is. I mean, you can change a little things with the setups and stuff for sure, but it still is what it is. And I'm a person, I like attacking the corners. I like attacking the brake zone. I like attacking the corners, the corner speed. That's what I like attacking. And you can't do that with this car. You cannot do it. It'll just understeer. It will just oversteer coming off. It just does everything you don't want it to do. But you see how, like, that corner, you can see it pronounced somehow. It kind of goes down on the left rear. And, I mean, that's what I'm talking about in these long corners. I mean, if, you know, you I don't know if we can see it. But when you get into these long corners, what happens, you get it over here to pitch on this left rear. And anytime it's going to pitch on that left rear, I don't know if we can get a good view of it. Okay. Is he pitching on the left rear? It's moving over. It's not bad though. It's not bad. It's not real bad there either. I've seen worse. See, that's the problem, is you're trying to get the rear end to help the front end turn, and that's why it probably wants to oversteer coming off the corners. See how it pitches over to the left? That's not bad though for that fast a corner. Again, you can see it. You can see it pitch and slide. See it pitches and then slides. Actually slowed down a mile an hour there too. It's only 168. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it does look great on the track. I mean, the car looks great, and you did a great job with the livery. I mean, I think the car looks, I love the style. It's pretty aggressive, and I like that. That's why it makes me mad. I wish I could be better with it. It just, I love the looks of it. The sound is okay. It's not the greatest, but I think the sound's good. But it just doesn't handle it. It's just, it's a wagon. I mean, it literally trying to get this thing to go around corners is just, ugh, good night. Like I said, it does everything you don't want it to do. It understeers going into the corner and oversteers coming off of the corner. Both things you don't want it to do. Both things are slow. Understeering in a corner is slow, and oversteering off the corner is slow. So it's just, ugh. And no matter what you do, it's a Band-Aid. You feel like you're putting you got your, an arm cut off and you're trying to put a Band-Aid on it. But that's the way it is. I mean, unfortunately, I just picked the wrong car for me, but I wanted to pick it because I haven't spent a lot of time driving it, and I was really wanting to work on setups and really get to know the car. But yeah, this will definitely be the one and only season I drive this thing. It's a lot of work trying to, to drive the car and even the setups. But again, I'll be streaming tomorrow. It starts usually around 1:45 my time, Eastern time. I usually start doing that for practice. And of course, the qualifying starts at 2, and then the race is 50 minutes with a pit stop. Of course, it's a big field. It usually is 30 plus cars. So again, I'll be streaming that with e-seniors, and I'll be doing that. So again, there is a link to the setup for the Ferrari that I ran around here earlier. A really good setup that I raced Monday and was really, really good here at Barcelona. I'll leave a link to that setup in the description, and I did show it earlier in the stream. So if you want to go back to it, and if for the console users, and pause it for each each category, you can copy it down that way. So again, I don't forget my console friends out there. But again, I hope you please give me a like and subscribe. It really helps with the channel and all the YouTube stuff, and especially since I'm so teeny little channel and I don't get much notice out there, don't get really shared around too much. So please give me a like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And of course, I do have Discord. Link will be down there too, which all that stuff is free. I don't charge anything, even though I have to pay for it, but it's still free for everybody. So again, I love talking to all my sim racing friends, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow for the race, which is on a Saturday. And if not, I hope you just check out the video or the stream later on at your convenience. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Y'all have a good one. See ya.